And we're live. Hey guys, welcome back to Casual Commander. This is Tim.
And this is Chris.
And today we are doing our viewer sweepstakes award. That's not the actual name of it. It was the giveaway, the 12 days of giveaway. And they got to choose an episode, which they decided they wanted us to invent a format, which is just that's the kind of power we should not have.
Yeah. So it's a little scary. Hold on. I'm posting in the Discord right now about it.
All right, I'll keep talking then so the podcast doesn't sound bad.
So okay, here we go. Well, I just posted. So before we start about that, anyway, the winner was one of our listeners, Sean. Thank you again, Sean, for supporting and listening to the podcast. Before we get into that topic, though, I think it would be good, because this is going to be a good segue, if we talk a little bit about the announcements that have recently come out about Commander by Wizards.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you've seen these, Tim.
I have not.
But essentially, there was an announcement. I think Gavin posted it. Let me try to find it. MTG Commander announcement, and I'll link it to you because it's got a nice infographic on it.
Okay.
Essentially, they have introduced a brackets beta, and so as you probably know, and as the listeners know, there has been a lot of discussion over how the heck do we actually like try to put a number to a deck, right? Historically, it was the 0 to 10 scale, where we kind of make light of it, right? Like this is a 7, or EDH, right? Or power precons are 2 to 4, or things like that. And so Wizards actually officially published a potential solution for monitoring that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's gotten mixed reviews, I would say.
Immediate complaint.
Yes.
Brackets only go to 5.
Should it be more than 5?
How can we have a 7 if there's no 7, Chris?
Just divide by 2, Tim. What's probably going to happen is it's going to be a 1.5. Okay?
No, Chris. Chris, I don't need this little halfway shit. Okay.
Okay. So Tim's got the picture up. That infographic right there, Tim, is everything you need to know.
Yep.
Essentially, in like a boiled down version, where tier 1, bracket 1, they call it exhibition. It is no mass land denial, no extra turns, no 2-card combos, no game changers, and a few tutors. Basically, you're like super basic deck, right? Like your jank, I want to have some fun nonsense deck.
I'm surprised tutors are in there at all.
I mean, you can get some pretty crappy tutors.
I guess that's fair.
And then also you have to ask the question, like does Stonehero Giant, the one? Sorry, go ahead.
Does ramp count? Like, is a cultivation, is that a tutor? I guess it is technically, right? Like,
great question. I guess technically it's a tutor.
So maybe that's why. Maybe.
Tier 2 is core. So they said the 2 tier is where the precons live. No, same idea, but they've introduced a new thing on this one, is no game changers. And we'll talk about what game changers are in a minute.
Okay.
Tier 3 is upgraded. This is beyond the strength of an average precon deck. The big difference in this one is there is late game 2-card infinite combos and up to 3 game changers. And then this is where it gets kind of weird. 4 and 5. 4 is optimized. 5 is CEDH. But there's literally no difference in terms of what they are between the two.
Then why even have the bracket?
Great question. Their argument is CEDH is where winning matters more than self-expression. So in our case, an optimized deck is a really powerful deck that is on theme, where CEDH is just strictly about winning.
I feel like that is a good clarification that could have been a bullet point.
They kind of say that with the description, but you're right. Like a bullet point would have been helpful.
No, I mean here, if you look at it, all if you just have this bracket here, it says optimized high power commander. It's time to go wild. No restrictions other than the ban list. See EDH. High power with a very competitive and metagame focused mindset. No restriction other than the ban list. Like, I get that. I think they could have made that a bullet point to make that like immediately. I'm confused. And once
I mean, that just explains yourself normally, though.
but once someone like explains it, then yeah, then I'm good, right? Like you explained it succinctly and I think in a good way, which is different from how you normally talk.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back
True,
at you
true,
for,
true.
for
Big true.
the
Big true.
jab you
Oh, I just want to dig at you. Don't worry.
yeah. But like I feel like they could have it just seems like needlessly confusing.
Mm-hmm. It's I don't know. It's Zane said it in the chat. It's the intent of gameplay. Are you playing
Sure.
a strong deck that you really like, or are you playing to win?
I get that, right? And like you explaining that makes sense. If I'm just reading this,
I mean, you'd have to read more than just the picture.
Exactly.
Like he has other like Gavin put other text in here that describes it a little better.
Yeah.
But what I do want to talk about is what they're defining as game changers. So you can see the difference between a level 3 and a 4 deck. A level 3 deck can have up to 3 game changers. What these essentially are really like what Wizards has deemed as powerful cards that are going to potentially warp games. And like Zane said as well, these are also cards that has essentially become the watch list.
Okay.
So cards that they have their eyes on for potential bannings or cards that really warp the format. Which I think is a good idea to have. Like, it's a good idea to have like a here's what we're watching out for, but I don't know if it's a good idea to have like a like here's how you can define your deck, right? Because again, like most cards, context matters.
Sure.
So by this theory, I could put, if I'm playing like a Jeskai deck, I could put a Cyclonic Cyclonic Rift, a Mystical Tutor, and a Jeska's Will, and now I'm automatically a 3. And then 97 lands, and I'm a 3.
True.
So
I think this is interesting. The game changers. I think it's interesting that they're kind of like the watch list has always been a thing. The ban list obviously has always been a thing. Now they're kind of like leaning into it, saying like if you play these cards, just know this is what we consider to be game changers and what we not as a rule but as like a basis are considering to make your deck higher powered. And I wonder if this is going to I mean, this is going to cause problems because no one's ever happy, but like, I feel like this might help at least like settle some arguments because I feel like a lot of these cards, some people will be like, oh, Jessica's Will, why is that on here? You know, like Wizards is looking into it. That's why.
Because it's a freaking good card.
It's a really good card. And if you're sitting there like, my deck's not that high powered, I have 4 of these cards, but it's not that high powered. That's an argument you can make, but it's tough, right? Like,
I also would like to point out that by this deck list, by these banned card or like these watch list cards, like every single one of them is in Lich.
Exactly.
Every card.
I think your card it's at least a 4.
I mean, yeah, Lich is a 4 on a good day, a 1 on a bad day.
No, it's a 4 on every day. It just
averages
like
out
a
to
1.
a 2. It averages out to a 2.
No. It's a 4.
My Lich deck could be a pre-con, you know?
Oh my god. Now I have a basis. It's optimized. It's a 4.
And I think but the problem is, I feel like this new list set, like, it's a good in theory, but it really doesn't solve the problem of everything's a 7.
No, and he even says that in the in like the some of the like things they wanted to address at the beginning, and I think it's a good point that they brought this up. Number two is like the second thing, they can't stop bad actors, right? They can't say this is a guideline, right? This is what Wizards is saying. Like, if you came to us and said, how would we rate this card? This is what we would give it. You can't stop somebody from being like, it's a 2, and then they drop fucking Urza on the field, and you're like, but there's a game changer.
Yeah. And they
So-
do say that our feedback is going to be critical. So, Tim, make sure you actually respond to Wizards and give them your thoughts.
I hate it. I hate all of it. No, actually, I don't hate this. I don't know if I'm on the minority. I probably am because I usually am. But I'm all for them having some sort of standard of saying like what they consider high powered. And the nice thing about Commander is like at the end of the day, who cares? This is just a way to make it easier for people to balance their decks in their pod. And I think that's a good thing.
So why not just give every single card in Magic a 1 to 5 on power and then
There's
average your deck out?
22,000 cards. That's dumb.
What do you mean? They've already identified the critical cards, right?
I'm
How easy would it be to be 100 divided by, like your summation of power for an average power of the deck?
Because now that's just one additional thing I have to keep track of when I'm deck building. Like,
Why do you care?
because I'm trying to build a deck for the pod that I'm playing against, right? Like, I need to start building 4s because Lich is a 4.
Oh please! If I even sniff the Lich on my desk, you
go
walk
home.
away.
Yeah.
You go home. You walk away. You're gonna wake up one morning and you're gonna like flip over and Benny be like, "Good morning, wife," and it's just gonna be me sitting there holding a Lich card.
This is a little vindicating because I'm looking through this and I don't think I have a large amount of these cards.
Pretty much all of them are concentrated for me in a single deck.
They sure are. I think so. I've got like Yuriko, so that's fair. I don't think I have a Bolus Citadel. I have an Imperial Seal, but I don't think I've put it in anything, so I don't have a deck with it. I do have a Turgid God of Fright. I have a Smothering Tithe. I don't think it's in any of my decks.
Really?
I may have put it in a deck. I'd have to look through it. Like I don't have a lot of these cards, so I think most of my decks are going to be around a 2 or a 3.
That's where most of mine sit. Obviously, Lich is a 4.
Yeah, 100%.
But easily. But I would say the vast majority of them are 2. Like maybe Squirrels is a 3, but like just barely.
You don't think you have 2? Well, no, Squirrels is absolutely a 3 because you have at least late game 2 card infinite combos.
Yes.
Squirrels is 100% a 3.
Squirrels is a 3. But
it
like
might be a 4.
No, it doesn't have game changers.
What do you mean it doesn't have game changers?
Like it doesn't have more than 3 game changers.
Oh, okay.
Right. So like I don't have a Gaia's Cradle, right? It's got like Imperial Seal and that's it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have much.
Yeah.
So,
I think the other important thing, and I don't know if they address it in here, is these are guidelines to set up a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mm-hmm. What's like the cutoff, right? Because like you could have some pretty like bonkers decks that just don't have mass land denial. So you're like, it's still a 3. So like I don't know.
And that's the problem is game changers as a definitive way to define the deck. I don't think is a good way to define a deck.
That's fair.
Because I know for a fact Squirrels could absolutely stomp Lich. And Squirrels is a 2.
Squirrels is not a 2.
Squirrels have 1 game changer. 1.
I think it's... Oh, it's saying like, is that at least 3
up
game
to 3,
changers?
Up to 3.
Up to 3 game changers.
Up to 3.
So it's a 3.
I don't actually, you know what? The only one it has is Imperial Seal. So literally the only game changer in the Squirrel deck is a tutor. If I took that tutor out, Squirrels is a 2.
It doesn't have a vampiric tutor?
No.
Hmm.
It's got Imperial Seal. Maybe Demonic Tutor. But that's not on here.
Yeah, it is.
Demonic Tutor?
Right
Okay,
there.
maybe it has 2. Okay, it has 2 cards.
It's slowly climbing the ranks. It's going to be a 4 soon.
I take the 2 tutors out, and it's a 2. It's on it's on tapped out.
Yeah, but
which
he's
I have
telling
not
you.
fully transitioned everything over yet.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be the biggest problem is pods are going to argue like look at your thing. But I think there's like as long as they have clear definitions on what this means and if they have clear definitions on like okay, yeah, you have all these things but you don't have mass land denial, that doesn't mean it's not a 3, you know? I think they need to have like
Oh, interesting. Yeah, he's right. Moxfield actually in your format now provides you the estimated bracket level.
oh, interesting.
Yep. So like my what's it called? My Bumbleflower deck is a 3. It must
Wow.
have like 1 or 2 game changers in there. Probably one of the counter spells or tutors or something like that.
I'll have to
right?
go like
But like this is also crazy because the joke deck I made, the Ultimate Horse Armor Bundle deck, is a 3.
I think there's some of that, Chris, but you might just be exposing yourself as like impossible for you to build not a 3.
Maybe.
Yes.
I mean,
Cyclonic Rift and Oracle make it a 3. You love those cards.
Cyclonic Rift, I only have like 1.
You love it.
I do.
It's your
but shut
favorite
up.
card.
Shut up.
So, I don't know. I think all in all, this is a good thing, but I think it definitely needs tweaking.
Sure. So, but the other interesting thing in here is a mention to possible unbannings from the ban list.
I saw that.
In April. So we could spend the entire episode speculating on what's going to get unbanned. Are they going to unban what they just banned? Are they going to unban like some of the older cards that nobody really plays anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's lots of questions around that. I don't think we should sit here and speculate though.
No. I don't think we need to, right? Like I don't know. I think the possible unbannings, there's also the possibility that they're not unbanning anything as of yet, you know, like they may get to April and be like, we're good. Everything seems right.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's worth speculating, but I would love if it was I will speculate. It's a 180 where it's like, we're not unbanning anything and Thassa's Oracle's banned. Eat shit.
They're not going to ban Thassa Oracle.
I know. Unfortunately.
Yeah, Ryan's right. Like my randomly thrown together clue deck is a 4 according to Moxfield. Chris, I don't know how I feel about that.
I think you're getting exposed. I think this says more about you than it does the system.
That I'm a good deck builder, Tim? Thank you.
That means you can't help yourself.
You want jank? I'll build some freaking jank, all right?
That's what you said, and then it's a 4.
I don't know what I did. I thought this was pretty janky. It just got good clue cards.
That's the thing is you do it without even realizing it.
I'm sorry that I put Guardian Project in my decks, Tim.
Yes.
God.
All right. So unbannings, we're not going to speculate. Talked about the brackets. Was there anything else you wanted to get to?
That's everything top right now. Specific from Wizards. We got the first. We don't have to talk about them today. We got the first 4 Final Fantasy face commanders.
Oh, okay.
I would say they're all okay. None of them really are like super powerful, but they're all not weak. Let's save it for an episode. Let's save it for when we actually have like the rest of the decks, I think.
I was going to say, I haven't even seen them, so like there's no point in me even remotely contributing to that.
Yeah, the crowd goes mild, but Ryan, you'll have to wait. Sorry.
Yeah, announce your format.
Okay.
All right.
Announce your format. Announce our format. We're going to be developing it together.
Dance monkeys.
Right now. This is the new format. Remember? Oh man, do you remember when I forget what happened, but like something happened and then Commander's Quarters, the podcast, like decided to make their own Commander format.
Yeah.
and then it just absolutely backfired.
Uh,
So fun.
Never
This is
mind.
our moment right now.
I didn't. Wait, what happened?
Okay, so the podcast Commander's Quarters, who is really known for making budget decks
Yeah.
and had really good content, used to watch them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, something happened. I forget what happened. It was like a banning or an announcement or something came out, and the guy who runs Commander Quarters was really, really upset about it and tried to make his own format. Commander's Quarters format called
Is it called Captain?
it's called Captain. It was you know what it was? It was because of The Walking Dead. He was very unhappy about The Walking Dead secret layer drop.
Okay.
And essentially the format was like the ban cards were voted on by the members instead of a rules committee.
Okay.
It didn't work.
Sure.
it did not work, and it fell apart. And I'll tell you what, like Commander's Quarters, no offense to the guy, like it's not the same as it once was.
I stopped watching because all the titles were like clickbaity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really like this format. I thought he built really good decks, and he might still build really good decks. But like every other
not
video
as
was
common.
like, Magic has changed fundamentally and will never be the same. And then you watch it, and it's like they announced that they're gonna have a new, like, I don't know. It was clickbaity.
That's true. That means this episode title needs to be very clickbaity.
Oh, 100%.
Right. For a new format, click here.
Magic explodes and then dies and then resurrects.
The resurrection of magic, thanks to Chris and Tim. We save magic.
We saved magic.
All right, so let's actually get into the real episode. Our listener, Sean, should we say his last name?
No.
I guess it doesn't really matter. No? Okay, our listener, Sean O. We'll do that. Sean O. was the winner of the giveaway where we get to let them pick the topic. So his wording was, there are some fun some home tabletop ways to play that I've heard of people just make up, like everyone builds a deck with no lands, and there are just lands in the center that everybody draws from. Well, just random things like that I think would be fun to look at and explore. He and I talked a little bit more, and it kind of turned into Chris and Tim invent a format. So, Tim. What's our format? What are we going to call it?
I figured, so are we just doing one? Because I thought it might be fun to try and build some serious ones, some memey ones, and then maybe combine at the end. Let's see where it goes.
Well, first things first, I need you to open up like a word processing.
I was going to say, I was thinking about opening up
we need to take notes because whatever's about to happen is going to happen for real.
It's
and we're going to have to try it on the Discord, right? We're going to have to try it with the listeners.
I got to change my window capture real quick to my
No problem.
notepad.
I'll just keep talking. So comments in the listeners. Chris can't play blue. Tim can't play green. That's not a format. That's a restriction.
Oh, that's like very. I might need to.
Oh, that's tiny. You're gonna have to zoom in.
Can I zoom in on? Oh, I can.
Rule 0. My bad. Yeah, that's right. That's rule 0, brother. Yeah. Oh, hello. All right, Tim. First and foremost, do you want to do a serious one or a meme one?
Let's get the meme out of the way.
Okay. 200 card minimum.
Okay. So I think let's start off with a count. Singleton or not or no.
No, it's dualton.
Dualton? You can only have 2. I like that. Let's do it. Okay.
200 card deck dualton. No, we're not going to play Battle of Wits. Dualton Omega. I like it. if you put a Doge joke here, Dualton Omega generated economy? No. No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. Dualton Omega great energy.
Wait, that's still.
Giga energy.
Okay, let's.
Okay, this is not very exciting content watching you type. Dualton. Okay, Dualton.
So it's gonna be
200 card deck.
Well, let's come up with a name first. All right.
Okay, Dualton Omega great energy. I'm good with that.
Oh, you want to call it that?
Yeah, call it Dualton Omega great energy. It's the Doge format.
Okay, so it's just going to be absolute shit.
200 card Dualton. $200 card format. Are we allowing commanders? You can have up to 4 commanders.
I think you have to have 2 commanders, but one, if one is on the field, the other one cannot be on the field at the same time.
I also think that they should match colors. They have to be the same color pair. So there's not going to be okay. This will actually work out pretty interestingly. There's no partner.
They both have to be white.
No color restriction, but your commanders have to be white. Okay, I'm good. God, we're gonna get shut down for this one.
I love this.
They have to be mono white.
It must be mono white.
Listeners, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Listeners, I'm sorry. In this trying time, here we are.
Okay.
Like a mono white format.
But all your cards can be whatever. Like it's
Tim,
fine.
I'm sorry. I don't know if, oh no, I'm gonna stay out of this one. I'm not gonna say it.
It's probably best.
Yeah. Okay. 2 commanders cannot be on the field at the same time. No color restriction, but commanders must be mono white. Do we have a ban list?
Anything DEI.
That's the joke I was avoiding. That's the joke I'm avoiding, Tim.
Okay, fine. I would say that every player gets to ban 10 cards before each game.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You have this is actually really good. And then if you have any of those banned cards, they just get taken out of your deck before the game.
Exactly.
So it's like a League of Legends banning.
Exactly.
So I kind of like that actually. Yeah. So if you know your opponent's deck, you can hose them
at maximum, and you don't have to like refill, right? Because that's potentially 40 cards.
Nope.
So
correct.
You so don't like get it's 160 refill. Really format potentially.
But you can't say basic lands.
Okay, I'm good with that.
But yeah, it's essentially a 160 card format if you're smart. Actually, it could be even more because if you do Dualton.
Oh, you're right. That could be so it could be 120.
It could be an 80 card ban.
That's crazy. You're just sitting there. There's a half hour of prep work before each game.
That sounds about right. Oh. And however many cards you have banned from your deck is your starting life total.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, how is that? You lose like 2 cards? Oh, well, looks like you have a strong deck.
That's good. That's really good. Okay.
That's kind of cool, right? Yeah, so like now you have
like
a deck.
With the meme, we're breaking the game.
It's a real deck. We're breaking the game. I mean, we also only allow white commanders.
Wait, hold on. But what happens if none of your cards get banned? That's like a way to like.
You're immediately out. You have to ban your own. You have to ban your own cards.
Oh my god, that's true.
Yeah, you have to ban your own cards.
Oh my god, that's crazy. And you're gonna like get to like 9 cards, and you're like, "Fuck, I have to ban a card."
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. Like the banning is like round robin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Banning is round robin. It's at the start of the game, and you have to be able to play. So if you have to ban your own cards, you have to ban your own cards. Can
ban your own cards.
Dude, this is actually a freaking cool idea.
It's weird that I'm kind of enjoying it. We might
I
have
am.
to we might have to like try this out on like TTS or something.
Yeah, yeah. Please sponsor us, TTS Tabletop
Just please
Simulator.
sponsor us.
Yes, please, please. Welcome to Casual Commander, your greatest face of casual magic on Tabletop Simulator.
Should poison be 10 or should it be increased?
Nah, keep it 10.
Okay,
You don't
poison.
make 5.
2.
2. 1. 1 poison. Learn to block,
no
idiots.
poison.
Just everyone's done. I think just leave poison as is.
Okay.
It's poison.
Okay.
Whatever. Oh, how much of a dick would you have to be to go in and just make all 10 of your bans somebody's poison cards?
Yeah, that's. Ugh.
Are you allowed to ban commanders?
Ooh, good question. I think
I think you
no.
can, but at a big penalty.
What would the penalty be?
Uh,
I'm going to say no and hear me out. Then you have to bring potentially 12 commanders just in case they keep banning your commanders.
oh yeah, brother. That's 12 white cards, okay?
That's
That's
true.
the la lay loo lay low right there. Okay, that's government control.
We'll call it checks and balances.
Can that okay, the format is no longer Dualton Omega Great Energy. It's now checks and balances.
Oh god. We'll call this will be
Or no, put it that in parentheses, checks and balances.
Yeah. So much for us. Wow, we've been streaming for like a month and already we got political.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty
But
funny.
it's political in jest.
Yeah. Yeah.
In jest.
Yeah.
We're not actually getting really political.
True. Okay.
Are there any? Okay, so we've already talked about the ban cards. Poison is still allowed. Are we going to talk about? Is there commander damage?
That should probably scale, right?
50 combined for the 50 states.
51, Chris.
Not yet. We'll have to change the rules.
Okay. So commander.
So 50 combined. And you know what?
Hold on.
Let's
Checks
make
and
it more-
balances. Brackets. Stars and stripes.
Okay, then change it. Must be mono white, mono red, or mono blue.
No, I like that both commanders have to be mono white.
I mean, it's going to force people to play white. It's a good idea.
Yeah. White needs some love.
It does. Commander damage is 50, but I think it would be interesting to make it 50 in total. So if any player deals commander damage to you,
Okay.
it adds towards the total. Especially if you're going to start with 200 life.
I'm good with that. I mean, if you think about it, it's not far. It's like 12 and a half commander damage per player.
Per player. That's not awful.
Yeah.
7. It's more like, I guess 17. About 17 damage per player.
17 times 3.
That's 51.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I was thinking like compared to like the 20 each getting to whatever.
But if you have like 150 health,
yeah.
kind of makes sense. Okay. You must include some kind of tax card. In whatever color, there has to be a tax card. Monologue tax, ghostly prison, anything.
Should the white taxes just be doubly effective?
No.
All right. I think this is pretty good. I think, to be fair, this is more rules than most other formats have.
We have memed in and out. I don't know if this is a real deck or like a real format or a meme format at this point.
I 100% would play this.
Who are your two commanders?
Yoshimaru, goodest
Oh,
boy.
good boy. Okay.
And what's her name? Oh crap! Why can't I think of her name?
Arden?
No. Hold on, let me. It's a
Describe her.
Stacks.
Oh, geez. The Praetor. Elish Norn.
Yeah, well that's a good one too. Let's look at like commanders, mono, white, and let's see what I'll see what the stacks commanders are. Do they have maybe by?
Are you talking like Thalia?
Is it Thalia?
She's the one that makes everything cost one more. Everything costs one more.
Maybe.
I would pick Yoshimaru and Ishimaru and have the best boys deck.
Just best boys.
Just the best boys.
I'd have to find out. I'd have to like look
Okay.
because I thought you could search based off of oh, here we go, themes, and then I'm gonna find stacks. Oh god, I have to search stacks. Whoopsies, sorry guys.
I know, JP. This is frustrating.
All right, we'll keep talking then while I'm doing some.
What? I'm trying to talk.
What
You're
you can't
Googling.
talk if I'm not there.
No.
Oh.
JP, look at our new format that we're inventing. It's called Dualton Omega Great Energy, parentheses, checks and balances, brackets, stars and stripes. It's Doge CBs. Anybody up for a game of Doge CBs?
Myrel Shield of Argive.
No. Oh my god. Trying to think of something to add. I mean, if anyone, hey, listen, this is a community opportunity to be able to provide feedback on our very interesting format. So if anybody can provide anything, while the listeners are thinking, Tim, let's move to the meme format.
This is the meme format.
It sure doesn't seem like one after everything.
I think we Chris, I think we're just built to meme, and I don't think we can do much else.
Okay, let's genuinely try to make a real format then.
Okay, gonna start over.
Just hit enter a bunch. Don't delete it.
I'm not gonna. It's just a tab.
Oh, that's right. You have Windows 11. They made a new tab thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tim. I came up with that. What's your? How many cards?
What?
How many cards in this format?
Chris,
in our real format.
Let's step out of our comfort zone and let's make it. I want it to be different, but I don't want to be like memey. Let's say 80.
Okay.
All right. Isn't
there an 80 card format?
Chris and Tim actually try.
Beginning of each turn, you can choose to draw your card or force your opponent to take a shot. That seems like a house rule.
I would definitely play that though.
Yeah, that would be fun, but I feel like that's a house rule.
But also, I feel like there has to be at a certain point, so there's no deaths, a right of refusal.
No.
Okay.
That's the rule. You have to play it.
That would devolve so quickly and just turn into who's got the wooden leg.
I mean, Tim could drink Smirnoff. Oh, you're going to get iced.
I'm going to get iced.
At a magic event.
Loser gets iced.
Loser gets iced. I love it.
Okay. So it's an 80 card format.
80 card format.
Color restrictions.
I'm really feeling the doubles thing. How about we limit it to 2 color only? 2 color or less. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. Like, I want to kind of like, if we're doing something legitimate, I want to try to think of like a theme or an
Hmm.
idea that we're really playing off of, right? So like obviously standard is the 4 card 60 whatever format.
Hmm.
There's Dan Dan, if you've ever heard of the format Dan Dan, which is pretty fun. Let's instead of just making a number of decks, try to think of something unique.
Well, that's I. This is part of it, is it not?
Well, like so Dan Dan, have you ever heard of the format Dan Dan?
I have not. No.
Basically, it's a shared common deck that both players draw from.
Oh.
And then it's only blue, and it's based around this fish creature named Dandan. And
Okay.
it's like 15 Dandans and then a bunch of like lands and a bunch of instants to be able to manipulate the top of the deck to try to get more Dandans. Right? So
Okay.
it's like an interesting take. What can we do that's an interesting take to Magic that could be fun? I don't think making additional restrictions to Commander is unique enough. You know what I mean?
That's fair. No, no, I get that. I'm just trying to think of one.
Yeah. See, this is where it gets hard. I have to use my brain, and I don't like doing that past 9 o'clock.
That is fair.
But here we are.
What if it's it is a sealed format?
Sealed. Okay.
Okay. So it's sealed. When you get the pack, you get to pick one card for your deck, and you get to pick one card to go into your opponent's deck.
That's just draft with extra steps. I feel
Every format we're going to pick is going to be standard with extra steps.
No, I don't think so. Because Dan is nothing like that, right? Uh I do like the idea of bringing some packs, but then again, that can get pretty expensive pretty quickly.
Well, you could also make like plenty of people do cubes that have like resealable packs.
Hmm. That's true. Think of a very like tabletopy, like
What's more tabletopy than sealed?
just uh like kitchen table magic, where you just get a bunch of cards and make it roll. Like, what if maybe we do put restrictions, right? What if you're not allowed to play lands? And it's like Hearthstone, where you are guaranteed a land every turn.
Okay, well then that's just
That's just
Hearthstone and Slay the
Hearthstone,
Spire
right?
and all those other ones with
Sure,
extra steps.
sure. But does that can we play something off of that? Uh what if we did something like the land base is shared? Or like you shuffle up Wooburg in basic, like your deck can have uncommon like colorless lands, not like unique lands, but you have to draw from like a land deck as well, where hopefully you get a land of your color.
What if what if lands are shared, but you cannot you tap the lands after you can only tap the lands in response to casting a spell. So like you cast the spell and then you tap the lands to pay for it.
That's actually how you're supposed to do it.
But then you can't tap the lands just to float mana. There's no floating mana. Because then everyone would just like if lands are shared, then everyone's just going to tap all their mana on their turn, unless
Oh,
all lands
I
untap
had a
on all
thought.
turns.
I had a thought.
Okay.
What if there was a common deck and each player, each card at the beginning of each card, each draw step, right, of each player's turn, a common card was flipped. And then anyone can pay land to get it. So it's almost like a draft. But you don't untap your lands until the start of your turn.
So if two people wanted, would it be AppNap for who gets it?
Whoever pays the most.
What? Oh, like you pay
Like
mana.
it's what's it called? Um, like it's a oh god, why can't I think of the term? It's a auction. It's like an
Yeah.
auction. You flip a card from a common pool,
Mhm.
and then every player auctions.
So, but there has to be some tiebreaker, right? Because there will come a time when two players have the same amount of mana and want to tap out for that card.
So in turn order, you get to pay some amount, and then the next person they have to go higher.
They have to go. Okay, so
They
turn
have to
order,
go
you have
higher.
to up
Yeah,
it every time.
you
Okay.
have to up it.
Okay. So are we sticking with the two color or less then?
We kind of have to,
Do we?
because I think no matter what you're paying has to be able to be applied to whatever card is there. So like if we do multicolor, then having that number of lands is going to be really hard to do. So let's say I play a blue card, right?
Yeah.
And it's 2 and a blue. I have to be able to pay that 2 and a blue, but anything I go above that can be whatever mana I want.
So you have to pay, like when
You
you
have
flip
to pay
that
the
common
casting
card.
cost. You
Would you
have to
play
pay
it
the
or would you
casting
add it to
cost.
your deck?
You would take it you would play it, I guess, right then and there.
Okay. Okay. So it's not like a I get the card. It's I play it.
You play it.
Okay.
So it's almost like there's a card, was it like Possibility Storm or something like that?
hmm
Where essentially whatever card is flipped, you get to do it.
So that means both decks need to be the same colors then.
Correct. The center pool, it's almost like Smash Up, where like you have a common set of cards, or you smash two decks. Okay. This is actually a good idea. Each player brings a monocolored deck.
I feel
Like each player brings, it's almost like Jumpstart, where each player brings a monocolored deck and they all get shuffled up, and that's the common deck.
and then but no, but then you jumble up your cards and then you have to like filter them at the end. Like people aren't going to want to deal with that hassle.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Like if you're like, "Hey, do you want to play this format where we just shuffle our cards together and then afterwards we get to filter them out?" I don't know. I'm going to be like, "No, thanks."
That's Jumpstart. That's Smash Up. That's how these kind of games are.
Yeah, but usually we don't bring our jump starts together and then
We also don't play Jumpstart.
well, that's also true. Jumpstart, I don't know is that popular.
I like the idea of this mechanic I'm talking about here with the auction mechanic. How do we make it work?
I like that, but I don't think ruffling our decks together is the right branch off of that. I like the common card, like a common deck, and then I like the because it's common and because you have to play it right then and there, it can have its own sleeves, right? That way it's easy to find and shuffle out. And then I think they act as tokens, right? Like if they get bounced, they
They
disappear.
go away.
Yeah, they go away.
The instants and sorceries immediately resolve.
Immediate
Right.
immediately so they're counterproof.
That's actually kind of interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
Or
They would have to be non-interactable, right? They can't interact with storm. They can't interact with
it'd have to be a simplified deck.
yeah.
So we would have to, whatever deck we would put together for the common deck would have to be something that we build. Like it'd have to be like a pre-designed deck, almost like Dan.
Okay. This is
Does that
starting
make
to
sense?
seem like that format that has the events and everything.
The
What's
events?
that villain? Is it villain or
Arch enemy?
yeah? Doesn't that have like
Not at all.
That has predetermined decks. People flip cards, get effects.
There's a side deck. Everyone still brings their own deck. There's a
How
singular
is this
10
different?
card deck. Because this is one common for everyone.
I guess I don't know enough about Arch Enemy to know.
Arch enemy is everyone brings their own decks and just plays their own decks.
Yeah.
It's 3v1.
Okay. And
That's it. That's it. That's literally it. There's
and then
an
there's a
arch
side
enemy
deck.
deck. That side deck is specific to the arch enemy to give them a fighting chance.
Yeah.
That's it. There's only 10 cards there. I'm saying that this format has 60 cards that are preset. And when the
you
cards
don't
flip,
even. It's not like it's. I was thinking this whole time that it was a side deck that would alter how your deck is being played.
there's just a fat stack of 60 cards in the middle. You flip it, people gamble for it.
Okay. That was not what I was thinking.
So it's like Dan Dan, except now you get to gamble for the Gangan. Or not gamble, you get to auction for the Dan Dan.
So
I think it adds an interesting mechanic because then like you don't get to refresh your lands until it's the start of your turn.
I'm following that. How do you get lands?
You just start with everyone will start in lands. Everyone starts with 8 lands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just everyone starts with 8 lands with 4 of each color that is in the common deck.
Okay.
Or center deck. I keep saying common. It doesn't have to be common. The center deck.
It's the deck, right? That's why I was thinking when you call it the common deck, that makes me think, okay, but then there's your
it's
deck.
The
as well.
deck.
It's the deck.
The deck.
Okay. This seems
You know what? Actually, this could work perfectly, really, really good with Commander.
So everyone brings a commander too?
No. Because Commander is 100 cards, right? Whatever deck you pick, you just put that as the center deck. Whatever deck, just one of your Commander decks in the pod. And then everyone starts with 5 or so lands.
Okay.
Right? And then at the start of your turn, you untap your lands. You flip the top card of the common center deck, whatever color, whatever card that is.
I think we were better at making meme decks.
Well, you don't follow along?
No, I'm following along. I just don't like it.
Why?
I liked it much better when I had my deck, you had your deck, and there was a common deck to help with interaction between our decks.
So what's your problem?
So like we both play our turns. Like I play my turn, you play your turn. Mm-hmm. There's a new level at the end of both our turns. We flip the common card and then auction. So there's like a meta level, a meta gaming that you have to play of like whatever flips I might need to be ready for, or I need to be building my board state to kind of deal with that, right?
So, okay. I mean, that works too.
If it's one singular deck, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be like very slow and like, I don't know. It just seems like I like the idea of having more interaction with the decks. And I feel like if we're just flipping cards and auctioning, it's not much interaction. It's
okay. Well, how about we do this? If no one buys the card, you take it to hand.
Okay. So let's like walk through it. It's my turn, first turn of the game, right? We flip a card. I don't buy it. You don't buy it. I get it to hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second flip. It's your turn. You do buy it. I don't do anything.
You go in turn order to see who can get it.
Actually, that's a good point that we didn't mention. How many players?
Up to 4.
Up to 4? Okay.
Yeah. So all right. Hypothetically, let's say there's a 100 card deck in the middle of the table. I bring a commander deck and I lay down 100 cards.
Okay.
Each player is then given however many colors there are of this deck. Each player starts with one of each of the colors and one random colorless.
So 100 cards, no lands in the deck whatsoever.
I mean, you could just pick your commander deck, right? Because maybe you want to have more lands. This is what I'm saying. I literally just bring my deck, shuffle it, slam it on the table.
How do I pay for lands?
Don't pay for them.
You just
If
don't get
no one
land.
else pays for them, you get it.
So you can pay for lands.
Okay, hold on. Let me paint it.
Okay.
Let me paint it. Card in the middle. Deck in the middle. Each player starts the game with 4 lands. I flip a card. It's my turn. I flip the top card. Right? It's a cultivate, whatever it may be. I say to myself, all right, no one's gonna take this card. So I don't pay anything to buy it. It goes to you. You go, I should stop Chris from ramping. I'll pay 1 mana to take this card to hand. It goes to the next player. They say, I pass. It goes to the next player. I pass. It comes back to me. And I go, crap. I should pay. I really want that cultivate. I'll pay 2. Right? An auction. And then, after all that's done, I take the card to hand.
No, you paid 2.
To take it to hand.
So it's taking it to hand. It's not playing.
Yeah, not to cast. To take it to hand.
Okay.
Right? And then on a future turn, I could cast it. Now let's say a land comes down and nobody cares about that land. It goes around to me. I take it to hand. I can immediately play it. So it creates this dynamic of crap. Do I pay the mana now to stop Chris from picking up a Smothering Tithe, and I get it, right? But then I use all my mana for that particular card. Mm-hmm. It gets cards into your hand, so you can still counter, you can still interact, right? And maybe every time a draw would happen, the draw is a common draw, so it's common from the center of the table. So, like, let's say I cast like Harmonize, and it's draw 3. Then we flip 1 at a time and do that draft. Or, you know what? No. Every time you draw, that number of cards is what's up for draft.
What? Every time you draw?
Every time you would have a draw spell, like Harmonize, draw 3. All 3 cards are up for draft.
That I think just decentivizes drawing, right? Like, because then I don't know. I don't like this. It's a format.
Thinking?
It's not thinking. It sounds boring. Like not.
Why? Because you could hate. It's basically combining drafting and Commander in like one package.
Yeah, and I don't like drafting.
Oh, well, maybe. Okay. Do you like gambling?
No.
Oh, okay. Then the format sucks to you. I think this sounds like fun.
I feel like we would have to like put that up. What I liked more is having the event of flipping over a card. Like, we both take our turns, spend the amount of money or the amount of like mana we want to spend for the turn in anticipation for wanting to be able to cast whatever's going on, right?
Oh, I see. Okay, so that could work too. So that kind of is an archenemy deck, but not really. It's just like a little extra spice at the end.
It's more like what's cataclysms, you know, like the natural disasters, right? You could flip a board wipe or a one-sided board wipe, and you're like, well, shit, I spent all my mana setting up my board, and this person's gonna get like this board wipe for. I think they still need to be able to cast it themselves, and then
you still have to be able to pay the mana.
Still have to be able to pay the mana. It's an instant cast. You don't take it to hand. You pay the mana to cast it, and then you can auction additional mana to then like, right, if we can both pay for it, then, you know, then we auction, right? And if I really want it and I've got more mana than you, I'll get it. But I'm tapped out, and then it's your turn.
So that's just Commander with a shared sideboard.
A shared sideboard that triggers every turn.
Like at the end of every turn.
Yes.
So this deck is going to need like 40 cards in it. And it's going to need to match the colors that are being played.
Yeah. But then at least I can build a deck and bring that deck and not just sit here and be like, okay, I'm playing Lich and Chris got Solemnity and I got, I don't know, anything that gets fucked by Solemnity. You know, like I think having the common deck, like, and no one else has anything, and then like paying for it's like you're right. It's like paying for a draft, and then I feel like that's if you're doing that live, that seems like I don't know, not fun.
So all your deck is a impulse draw sideboard,
Okay,
right? Is that's basically what it is, right?
that everyone can
That
interact with. Yeah,
anyone can cast.
yeah,
So each player, oh, okay. Each player brings their own extra sideboard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So each player brings a sideboard. Does it have to be in their colors?
I
Can
would
mana of any color be spent to cast it?
I would think that you would have to have it would have to be mana of any color, right? Like I think that would be too because then everyone has to bring the same color deck, the same color sideboard. Like I think then it gets a little much, but you still have to be able to cast it. So like that's the caveat. If it's a 5 mana card, you still have to have 5 mana open. And you're like you said, mana doesn't untap until your turn still. So like you could play your whole hand and just ignore everybody's sideboard for the time, or you could go then.
How many cards?
That's well. So we'd have to specify both, right? We'd have to specify the sideboard count and the deck count.
What if it's 100 cards, but at the beginning of the game, you take 20 cards out as your sideboard? So there's a bit of decision making in that. Do I take out low mana cost? Do I take out higher mana cost and hope I can
Yeah.
get one later?
That's interesting because that kind of
So
lets you
you
like
can basically
metagame
just
it.
bring your commander deck. Just bring a commander deck, and then before the game starts, rip out 20 of the cards. Do you put land in it to guarantee you get the land drop?
I think you should still be able to auction for the land, right? Starts off with 0,
Yeah.
right? No one has to
Yeah.
have land or mana.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
And that card, do you cast it or does it go to your hand?
I think each card gets cast.
Okay. So there you really want to put any like instants in your sideboard.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might. I guess that's a fair point because, like,
Unless it's like opt or something like that.
yeah,
Ooh, we could call this Chaos Commander.
that's kind of like what I'm thinking. Like, it's like, or Cataclysm already is a big thing in
Chaos Commander.
Chaos Commander. Okay,
Because you have no idea what's going to flip up in that deck at the end of turn.
there could be a card in there that synergizes so well with your deck, and you didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like, I would think that the cards would have to be like, I guess like, are you able to counter them? Like, say someone casts the it's a
Sure.
creature, and like you can tap to counter it.
Sure.
Oh, that'd be I don't know, man. That'd be so like someone dumps 12 mana into this card, and you're like, here's 2, and you're
Oh,
gone.
that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's part of the gamble. That's any card. That's any kind of magic countering.
That's true. That's true. I just don't like blue. You know this about me.
I love that idea, actually.
Okay, fine. They're interactable. I do think permanents should leave the game.
You should be able to cast them at instant speed.
Yeah, correct. It's not like because it's a triggered event, right? It happens at. Should it be at the beginning or end of your turn?
End.
End of your turn. Okay.
Yeah. At the end. Yeah. At the beginning of your end step.
Okay. Let's write some of this down.
Okay.
So, are
Chaos
we
Commander.
get rid of the color?
Yeah, get rid of all that. Just regular commander decks. 100 card format.
Oh, did I hit insert some?
I think you did hit insert. Yeah.
I must have. I don't remember doing it. Okay, so get rid of the color. Okay.
Regular commander deck.
Beginning of game. Separate out 20 cards for your chaos deck. Right.
Do you want to say, you know what would be interesting? What happens if your chaos deck runs out? Do you die?
That's a good point. That is a 20 turn countdown. So it would prevent people from just like grinding
Dawdling?
the game to a halt.
Dawdling? Yeah. If your chaos deck runs out, game over.
I do think though that there has to be, because
Oh, you know what? No, 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 no. I don't think it should be 20. I don't think you get to pick the cards. I think it needs to be 20 random cards from your deck.
ooh, I like that because that's
The
even.
only reason, because it's chaos, right? And the only reason I say that is because people are going to put dumb shit in that deck and thin out their 100 card deck.
Yeah.
And to make it just like they'll just get rid of the crappy cards they don't care about.
Yeah, no, that's a good
It's
point.
got to be 20 random
Yeah,
cards.
20 random cards. Obviously not including the commander.
Sure. You draw 20 lands. Good job. You got lucky.
Okay. I think I like the idea of having your chaos deck be kind of a pool, but it does put like a severe disadvantage, right? Because it's all happening in sequence, right? So the first person to just take 20 turns loses automatically. So all you have to do is just it does kind of incentivize the fourth person to grind the game out to a halt because they automatically will be the last one standing at the end of that.
That's true. But that does give benefit to the fourth player, which is usually the worst place to go.
That is true. That is true. And it is randomly assigned, so you don't know that you're going to be grinding out the game because you don't know you're going to be fourth. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. If you were to draw, I mean, it's like it's no different from your regular deck, right? If you were to draw from your chaos deck and you can't, you lose the game.
Is the chaos deck interactable? I'm going to say no. Like
You can't. No, it's there no matter what. At the beginning of your end step, you draw from it.
Yep.
One card.
And you can't mill. There's no like. Yep.
You can't mill it. Can't. It's almost put the. You have a new zone, the chaos zone.
Okay.
I kind of okay. I'm starting to pick up what you're putting down.
Yeah, I think this at least lets people build their own deck and then like get to play the deck that they want, but adds some like fun like like literally chaos into it, right? Like there's unknown. There's some randomness you're not going to be able to account for.
I like that idea.
You could separate out 20 lands.
You could, and that sucks.
It does suck. That would be a terrible
those games
game.
suck. Yeah, those games suck. But I guess that's chaos.
But and that's also no different than shuffling all the lands to the bottom of your deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is you can't then tutor for them, so like that does kind of. But
oh well.
Yeah, too bad.
The likelihood that you're putting 20 lands in your chaos deck, well, this is actually pretty good because then you're guaranteed a land every turn.
Do you get to see your chaos deck?
Nope.
Okay.
Here's what I think you should do. I think you shuffle up your deck. You then take the top 20 cards, and that becomes your chaos deck.
Okay.
And then you draw 7.
Okay.
So you have no idea what's in there.
Okay.
No mulligans.
No mulligans.
No mulligans.
After shuffling, I think you could still mulligan. Like you draw your card. I think mulligan rules apply after chaos is separated out.
Okay, that's fine. Mulligan after chaos. Are we going to publish these?
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
these rules? I think we should. I can
think
put them
so.
on Discord.
Okay. So this is how we then, at the end of each.
At the beginning of your at the beginning of your end step.
Okay. Flip top
They reveal. Let's use their correct terminology.
Okay.
They reveal the top card of their chaos deck. Starting with the active player. they may pay mana equal to its mana cost to cast this card. If any player
Each subsequent player may pay that +1
may
to
pay
cast.
may play that plus an additional 1.
Mm-hmm.
No, because that, how do we want to word this, right? I know there's something like this. It's like MTG escalation, or hold on. I gotta go find the exact terminology. Um, there's like, I'm sure there's like jank. There's like jank in there that you can play. Like there's some like jank card from old school Magic that's like this, right?
Is that not anti?
I don't know if it's kind of anti, but not really. God, what's the name of that card? GG Goblin Game? No, that's Hide Object. Um, Cards like Goblin Game.
I'm gonna keep talking while you're looking
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
up.
I'm looking this up.
So I wrote, starting with the active player, each they may pay mana equal to the card's mana value to cast that card. Every card may be cast at instant speed and does not apply to the land turn limit.
Doesn't apply to the land term.
Right, because then your land would just fizzle on your turn every turn.
Sure.
But you still have to pay. Like, it's starting with you for a land. You don't pay anything. Next player would have to pay 1. Player after that would have to pay. Does it? I guess it would be like gambling, right? Like each player can up the bet, and eventually it has to get back to the active player to like fold, right? Like to say, okay, I'm not going to pay that.
Okay, how about this? Um, when a chaos card is revealed, each player may pay any amount of mana greater than or equal to the mana value of the spell to cast secretly. I kind of like the idea of it being chaos and not knowing. Like, I like the idea of it being chaos, right? So everyone secretly says how much mana they're going to pay.
Ooh, okay. I do like that, but that does seem like it would be a little like cumbersome, right? Because you'd have to like write it down to prove that you're not lying and being like, I said I'd pay 2.
I mean, you have dice, right? Just put the number on the dice.
Put the number. Oh, you mean like roll like
Just cover
put
hide a
face the
die.
dice? Yeah,
Like,
yeah, okay,
hide a die.
yeah. Or you could
It's
have those
kind of
health
like,
counters,
yeah,
right? Like nothing's going to be above 40 mana, I would hope,
yeah.
unless you had infinite mana.
Phew. I don't know how to word this one, but I like the idea. We'll have to think about the actual wording, but essentially it's starting player may pay the mana cost. The next player in turn order may play the mana cost plus 1. Continue this process until nobody pays an additional mana.
Okay. I think.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so starting with. Oh, wait, I already have starting with the active player. Each player may pay any amount of mana.
No, it starts with the active player. They say, I'm going to cast it,
Okay.
right, for its mana value. And then it passes to the next opponent, and they get the priority to say they want to cast it. And if they cast it, it costs one more.
So do
And then
they pay or do they
they just announce it.
announce it? Okay, so you don't
That's
pay it
why I think
until
I think that's why the random is a little bit better.
what do you mean random? Like
So like there isn't a chance that somebody else would cast it.
there is
So
not.
like let's say you and I each say, "Oh, I really want that one." Oh, I like this. I like this idea. Okay. Your number that you're showing is the amount of mana over the base casting cost that you're going to play to cast that spell.
Okay. Okay.
Ties go to the active player.
Okay, so reveal card.
Reveal card.
Everyone essentially bets mana, like X being the mana value plus whatever you want to bet.
Yeah.
Reveal.
Well, no, the die. So no matter what, all opponents have to pay at least one more.
But are you assigning that value before anyone knows?
No, so let's say I have cultivate 2 and a green.
Yep.
No matter what, you have to pay 3 mana,
Sure, I get that.
right? Because it's color, it's any color.
Yeah.
Then everyone secretly hides a number, and that's going to be the amount of mana over the 3 mana that they're going to pay. So if I have a 2, then I have to pay 5 mana.
Sure. Okay. That's what I was trying to get at was
Okay.
it's hidden in secret and all revealed all at once.
Yes.
Okay.
Any ties go to the active player.
Okay. So it's not even starting. Well,
It's not even starting with the active player.
Yeah.
Or I guess it can be. Or you can just say each player secretly hides a number over or hides a number equal to the amount of mana above or oh god, I'm really trying to think about how to word this as like it's a magic card, and it's really befuddling me. It's gonna be like a chains of Mephistopheles ruling. Like this is gonna be some insane number. Each player secretly hides a number.
yeah. Okay. So how about let me read out what I got. So each player, at the beginning of each player's end step, reveal top card of that player's chaos deck. Each player secretly chooses a number designating how much mana over the card's mana value they will pay to cast that card. Every
Okay.
card may be cast at instant speed and does not apply to the land turn limit. All amounts are revealed at the same time. Highest mana paid wins. Ties go to active player, and and each player must be able to pay that cost. Right? So you can't just say, I'm going to bet 10, but I only have 9 mana.
Yeah.
Okay. Sound good?
And this actually works out well because if you put 0 in, if everyone puts 0, then it's a tie for everybody, and the active player just casts it.
But they still have.
They don't have to cast it.
They have to cast it.
So
you can force them to cast it.
No, I don't like that idea. I don't think you have to cast it if you're the active player.
Oh, if you bet.
Because then why would I ever pay any mana for the fear that I'm going to get like a 15 mana card in my chaos deck?
So are we saying if you choose 0, you are not you will not get that card. It'll fizzle.
Correct.
It'll
fizzle. Correct. Except for the active player. So if you're an opponent and you bet 0, you do not get to cast that card no matter what.
Okay. Non-active players must choose a number above 0 or they cannot cast that card. And then
That makes sense, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous to be able to just take an active player's card
Yeah,
without any
without
additional
paying
cost.
something. Yeah.
You got to
No,
pay something.
I agree. I like that because then you don't know if they're going to pay 0, so the active player might really want that card and be willing to bet the rest of their mana on it.
Yeah. Okay. I think we now have a format. I don't think there's really much more to do in terms of like health or things like that.
No, I mean,
It's just
It's-
40.
it's
Keep it 40
Commander.
health. It's the same thing. It's commander with a chaos. It's chaos commander.
yep.
I like this. It's like Picasso.
It's like, what?
It's Picasso. I like it.
I kind of
Picasso.
like it too.
So would you want to try this?
Oh, I'd try it, yeah. You mean tonight?
No, not tonight.
No, I think, but maybe we record live
let's
like us playing.
Yeah, let's clean this up a little bit, post it live in the Discord.
Yeah.
See if people would be interested in trying it.
And everybody can let us know how they feel about it. Do they think that this
Yeah.
is dumb? Did they like the sound of Chris's like chaos draft better? If so, we could probably if a lot of people like it, I'd be willing to flesh that out more. Probably wouldn't play it myself, but
Yeah, well,
but I think it's very it shows that I'm not a big sealed guy, you know. I like making my deck and playing that deck. I don't like
sure.
I don't like
You
being
don't
on
like
the
people
spot.
touching your cards.
Well, that too. That's also
But this game will, right? Because people will chaos cast your cards.
sure. I at least have more of a say in that. Like a lot of times, like if you don't have removal or interaction, then you don't really have a say. This is like I can still bet, right? I don't have may not have a counter spell, but I can bet more mana. I like it. I think it's good.
I am so excited to just eat nothing but Cheetos before we play. And I will only be casting your chaos cards. I will spend
dust
Cheetos
fingers will be disqualified.
I will not pay a single mana of my deck and only cast your chaos cards.
Cheeto,
This is literally the greatest deck I've ever seen.
I bought Cool Ranch Doritos.
This is the coolest Doritos ever.
Cheeto or Dorito dust fingers will be disqualified.
Fine. What if I'm dipping my finger
Flamin'
straight
hot.
into... If I'm dipping my finger straight into macaroni and cheese powder and licking that off my fingers? Is that okay? $2 billion? Jeez, that's like 2% of our deficit, too.
That's
And let me
not
rephrase
even-
that.
not
That's like
even.
that's like 0.04% of our deficit.
Sure is. It's flaming hot Cheeto fingers, man. That's a high
We
price.
gotta cut. If big Cheeto, man, you gotta
Big
watch out
Cheeto.
for it. All right, I think we have come up with two fun formats. So the one we actually would try is not bad. I feel like that could be fun.
I think I would try both of them, frankly.
I would. I think the other one is a little silly, but also
Sure.
could be interesting for some fun like drafting. This is a draft. It's just a band draft.
This one? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, band draft. Yep.
Built-in Omega, great energy, checks and balances, stars and stripes.
The third.
It's Doge Cabsass.
Cab.
You want a Cabsass. You want a quick game of Doge Cabsass?
I think this would be a fun like drinking game. Right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
And then this would be like I would try this out to like actually see if I could make a good deck that like even randomly would still pop off.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you again, Sean, for the great suggestion. Hopefully you
Hopefully
like
you
this
got
idea.
what you wanted.
Hopefully you got what you wanted.
Is
from
this what you
I-
wanted, Sean?
Please, Sean, Please.
Did you want Doge Cabsass?
Doge Cabsass or Chaos Commander? I mean, granted, it's literally me and you making a format, which means I know it's stupid.
Absolutely.
But here we are.
Here we are. I like it though.
Good.
Wow. Good, great addition to the thought.
Good. I'm here to help out.
Proud of you.
So, all right, Tim. So when I edited last podcast, I did insert Evie's like plugs at the very end.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, which I feel like is fine because she does a much better job at plugs than I do and you do.
If we can just put them at the end, like I don't have to go find a spot and then we talk some more. So as long as
that's
it's
basically
understood,
what I did.
Yeah, that's fine.
So when I edited it, I put in the intro music. I didn't do anything special. I just put in the intro music, had it start, and then when we were done talking, you said "I love you." There was like a 2-second pause, then Evie's outro, then
I'm
the
fine
music.
with that. That's what I would do.
I'll send you the file.
Yeah, no, I still have it.
It's a new one.
Oh, she made a completely new one. Okay.
Yeah, she made a completely new one, and it's much better.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, because she's awesome.
Well, and now she's like a seasoned social media person. When she came to us, she was but a babe, and now
she is at 3,500 now.
Damn. Let's tell her to work some of her magic on our stuff.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, all right. Anything fun in your life going on, Tim?
Been playing a lot of video games lately. Like January and February have been quite good for gaming. Chris got me into RoboQuest. That was not a January and February thing, but it was my January and February. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 came out. That's been a lot of fun. I've been playing that. Civ 7 just came out. That's been fun. So yeah, I think I might still stream while you're out. I might see if maybe some friends want to stream some of those games with me.
Yep. So that's actually good. My big news is next week I'm on vacation.
Perfect. Way to segue.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am Audi 5000, which is part of the reason why we're doing a podcast episode tonight and not next week to keep with our every other week schedule.
I think it kind of works too, because there were some things that came up. I won't get into it, but that we had reasons as to why we were not posting, and they were my fault. Not my fault. That sounds bad.
Wow.
They were related to me.
Wow. Tim, you okay?
No, I'm fine. But so we apologize and thank you everybody for being patient with us and understanding. We would not have done that had it not been a serious reason. And honestly, vacation's also a serious reason. Like sometimes we just need a break,
Oh yeah, this is we're celebrating my son's 5th birthday, so
yeah, that's big.
Yeah, I'm not getting on the podcast next week. I apologize.
No, and I'd be mad at you.
Yeah, I had one vacation last year, and I had COVID during it. So
that's true.
I'm very much looking forward to a vacation.
If you even try to get on the stream, I'm gonna be like, Chris, go hang out with your family.
Yeah, they'll probably all be asleep.
That is true. If you get in, like if you come to comment,
not happening.
No,
nah. Maybe I'll watch.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, maybe I'll come say hi in the chat.
Exactly. Yeah. If you pop in, I won't tell you to. I probably will still tell you to go away.
You would.
But what are you most excited for this trip?
Making a lightsaber.
There we go.
I've been very clear about what my most excited part is. Like, there's been no debate over that, Tim. I told Evie, I was like, Evie, I don't care. We can pick any ride. We can ride Haunted Mansion 74 times if you want to. I'm making a lightsaber.
As long as we spend... Are you doing, like, the full... Like, you go in, you do, like, the whole thing, or you just...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
nice. Yeah. I'm very jealous. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
I am jealous that I haven't done it sooner.
You're jealous that you haven't done it?
I'm jealous of other people that have gotten to do it before me.
That's fair.
They don't have orange kyber crystals, though. Orange is my lightsaber color.
I thought they did.
According to BuzzFeed.
I thought they did. I thought that was a choice.
They have red, yellow.
Oh, they have yellow. Okay.
Purple, blue and green.
That makes sense.
I think you can get the black hybrid crystal, but it looks red anyway. But they don't have orange. They added yellow because of Ray.
Well, like it's
But
a black
yeah.
kyber crystal, but like it turns the blade red.
The blade's just red. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Man, I'm going to have paralysis looking at all the parts.
I was gonna ask, do you already know? Because I do
No,
think it
I
is
have
like
not looked at it at all.
It's a set
It's a
menu.
set. It is. And it's like, it's, you know, you only have so much customization, but I don't want to like spoil the event for myself.
That's fair. That's fair. It's pretty well known that it's like a set list.
Yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You get like 3 choices of hilt,
Yeah.
3 choices of pommel, right? Like, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm also excited to see my son enjoy it.
That I was gonna ask about that. Like I'm assuming you're taking him with you to do that. Is that
No,
like,
actually, it's going to be me and Evie doing that.
where's he gonna be?
I don't know. He'll be fine.
Okay, I thought maybe like your grandparent, like his grandparents.
My dad will be there with us that day, and so
okay.
for like the day we're doing that is actually Finn's birthday. So, my son and my father are gonna go do the build a droid thing.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Well, that's his birthday gift from Pop.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna go do a lightsaber. Because I want to build the lightsaber that I want. I'm completely selfish in this regard.
That's understandable, man. Like,
Right? It's because I know if he comes, I know he would have a lot of fun, but it's going to turn into his lightsaber.
This is gonna sound like probably callous from a guy who does not have a kid, but I think parents should be able to have a little bit of time that does not completely revolve around the kid, right? Especially because he's not gonna know, right?
This is a $250 thing.
And he's 5. He's not gonna remember outside of that moment in time. He's not gonna remember it. He's gonna say,
Correct.
"Wow, cool lightsaber," and then the rest of the day
Forget
is gonna
about
be,
it.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be.
now
a
I'm going to have
blur
this
of
ugly,
sugar and
like his favorite. I love the kid, but his favorite color is rainbow.
which
And
is
so
a
this
great
lightsaber-
color. It's just funny that
It's
it's,
a great.
like
It's
all
not a
colors.
color. Yeah. So like the lightsaber he's gonna build is gonna look cool to him. I'm gonna look at him and be like, "Ooh, great job, buddy! Great job."
That's so funny and so true.
He's already told me that he wants every color on his droid,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Okay,
No,
have
That's-
fun.
that's your
Love
droid,
you,
buddy."
dude. That's your choice." But this is my lightsaber.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
Yeah.
When he's 10 and we probably go again, then I'll take him to do his lightsaber.
Sure. When he doesn't have terrible choice.
When he's got some taste.
Yeah, that taste was what I was looking for. Yeah,
When he's got taste.
Can you pay extra to do double bladed?
Nah.
Oh, that's understandable
cool,
as
but
well,
no.
but like,
Yeah. It's actually pretty funny. Everyone's like, how are you going to get it home? The TSA of Orlando literally has a process to check them because so many go through that airport.
oh, I'm 100%. I believe that.
It's funny. It's funny. Like, there's literally, if you look online, can I bring my lightsaber? Yes, nerd.
Here's the steps, dork.
Right there on the TSA website. Yes, geek. Whatever you want to do, go home to Dagobah, loser.
I love that. That's so funny.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure. I think they give you like a container to put it in, right?
They do. They do. Yeah.
So like the TSA probably sees that and is like, all right, just put it through the scanner. You're fine.
Just whatever. It's a lightsaber. We know you're not getting laid. Don't worry about it.
No chance of this guy joining the Mile High Club.
This guy is not a concern for. This guy's not a concern for this airplane.
He's gonna turn on his switch. We're not gonna hear from him for 5 hours.
He's gonna get on the plane with a bag of Cheeto dust.
Cheeto fingers.
He's
Flamin'
gonna
hot, we bet.
He's gonna. The only thing we need to clean up is his flaming hot Cheeto dust stains.
Which are honestly cost airports millions every year.
Probably, honestly, I'm telling you, man, big Cheeto.
Big Cheeto.
You
Can you
know,
imagine if
Cheeto.
flaming hot Cheeto dust got in like the air ventilation unit on
Oh!
a plane? You'd be like pepper spraying everybody.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll crunch up a bag of Flamin' Hots and just give it a little
Chris,
toss.
that's domestic terrorism.
Maybe I should. Okay. I'm not doing that. TSA, I apologize.
Yeah. They're not going to let you bring your lightsaber if you keep making jokes like that.
All right. Before we get any more trouble, let's end the podcast.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Obviously, Tim's going to keep streaming. We'll stream again this Thursday playing video games. And we'll probably continue to stream right now playing video games.
Yeah. So like stick around if you're on the stream. Around. It's going to be RoboQuest.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. We hope you liked the formats we made. Let us know if you did or you didn't. Actually, don't let us know if you didn't. We would cry. But definitely let us know if you did. That's it.
Okay. And thank you again, Sean.
Yeah, thank you again, Sean.
Cool, guys. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Chris.
And I'm Tim.
And this is Casual Commander.
And we love you.
Very good.